In this week's Orchard Trek Retro, we're going back to revisit the year 1985, or is the year 1955? Where we'll be breaking down the intriguing elements of one of the most recognized, treasured, and quoted throwback retro science fiction films of our time, Back to the Future. Great Scott!
Kennedy. I know that you're more than ready and excited to jump into our Carmelicious retro discussion this week.
I am.
Yeah, that was probably like the understatement of the year. You've been raring to go on this one, I know.
Yeah, this one's pretty exciting, I know.
So, not only was watching Back to the Future an amazing good time, but I'm about to put you on serious blast and tease you because your little celebrity crush on the charismatic star of one of our favorite retro movies. What say you?
Coop, you are brutal, I'm telling you. And you have wasted no time this week in coming out swinging. Goodness, archivers, can you believe this atrocity?
They're
That's
like,
okay.
yes.
Well, I'll tell you, that's okay, Cooper, because she forgets that I happily file ornery slights on appropriate occasions.
Oh no.
Yeah, and this will be one of such. So,
Oh
just so you
boy.
know, yeah. So keep poking the bear, Coop. Your day will come. You hear that laugh? Nervous laughter. But just putting this out there, I kept this very quiet back in the day and was easily overshadowed by these same steroidal crushes on Michael J. Fox by a few honorary members of our girl squad.
Oh, yeah. She's not even playing. Okay, listeners. Um, for me personally, this was eye opening about a couple 3 years ago. He told me that I had no clue. I'm her sister. No clue.
Yeah, I
This
kept that
was
one quiet.
oh yeah, this was completely out of left field. I went, wait, what? Like I literally it took me a few minutes to tabulate and compute what she said because I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah. And seriously, with the girl squad though, I mean, tire tread. So I mean, I had them on my face. Like you just yeah, that was they took over. So it was like nice and quiet was the way to go. That was strategy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And a few of them were totally gone over him, weren't they?
They really were.
Well, it's of no huge secret as to why, but we'll get there in a little bit.
Oh, great.
so, 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 what do we have in store for this week's Orchard Trek Retro? I'm so ready to get down into the nitty gritty of what thrilling adventures Back to the Future was to reveal. So, let's get started, shall we?
Oh, goodness, yes.
Stupid question.
Not at all. But this week is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
So, our star protagonist, Marty McFly, just broke the time barrier. He's only got 1 week to get it fixed. So that was the official tagline to Back to the Future, our featured retro film this week. But there was a second tagline that explained our film's choice plot quite well too, and that was in sharing that Marty is the only kid ever to get into trouble before he was born. So I do believe that that was the tagline for the UK actually.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
Yeah, and as most retro buffs are truly familiar with this plot of storyline of Back to the Future, our intriguing tale of Marty McFly. Here we go. He's a 17-year-old high school student who, get this, accidentally sent 30 years into the past in a time traveling sports car invented by his close friend, the lovable eccentric scientist, Doc Brown.
And of course, it's a sports car in true 80s fashion, right?
You said it, Coop. Yeah, that they're like, there's no guesswork in that.
Oh, right. So, fun and most well known fact, the time traveling sports car is none other than the nostalgic and coveted 80s DeLorean,
Mm,
which reached great infamy by being the chosen vessel in which to do some crazy awesome time travel.
appropriate.
Yes. The production ultimately used 3 real DeLoreans. If you'd like to hear more about the DeLorean, its history, and other cool fun facts about this amazing car, check out our episodes, Hero Cars Part 1 and 2, in order to hear a fascinating recollection of the DeLorean, as well as other famous retro cars that drove their way straight into our hearts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I really enjoy Back to the Future.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we talk about the 80s all the time. But there are just some things in pop culture that is so nostalgic and literally screams the 80s.
Truly.
This is truly one of them.
Truly. I agree, Cooper.
Yeah.
I mean, Back to the Future, that film has a typical 80s feel to it, which we love, and you just described. But I love how fun and irresistible and original the film really is.
Yeah.
It was really a neat concept for its time. So let's get into some of the behind the scenes technicalities of what Back to the Future was.
That sounds great.
Okay. So, Back to the Future is a science fiction film that has an Academy Award winning team helmed. That would be executive producer Steven Spielberg. Yay, yay,
Yay, yay,
yay.
yay.
Which you could sense his signature in this.
Yes.
And this was both to written by and directed by Robert Zemeckis, which is a big 80s director name,
Hmm.
along with its writing assistance by screenwriter Bob Gale. So the casting is iconic and who we fondly remembered starring in the film. The casting, much like other nostalgic movies from back in the day, really had that substance contained therein to create the wonder, imagination, and fun that was easily derived from such entertainment in recent years.
Yeah, yeah. You state plainly raw facts on that, Kennedy.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, the casting was brilliant and a lot of names were included that we love and know well. We've already spoken of our star protagonist, Marty McFly, played by the ever talented Michael J. Fox. Then we have Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown.
Oh, yes. This movie, too, had a dynamic duo. But Coop, their chemistry was off the charts awesome.
True that. Then we had Lee Thompson, who played Lorraine, Marty's mother, Crispin Glover as George, Marty McFly's father, and Thomas F. Wilson, who played Biff Tannen. And you probably know the rest about him.
Oh, wait a minute. No honorable mention of poor sweet Einstein? He played an important role in the film.
Indeed, he did. And Einstein. Thank you. So you can see with this lineup, one can hardly go wrong with indulging in the unfolding tale of Back to the Future and fully be drawn in, right?
Oh, yes, totally.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So Back to the Future was actually set in the year 1985, as we previously stated. The same year, Back to the Future hit theaters. So the throwback components of the mid 80s was at the time, current and very strong, which we're very thankful for.
Nostalgia is the best.
It really is. And one of the biggest trends that was evident in the 80s, especially showcased in a lot of pop culture, is that folks from the 80s were obsessed with things and culture 30 years prior.
Yeah,
Yeah. So people were gone, totally gone over any and all things 50s related.
they were.
So, just with that angle of obsession with what culture was back then anyway, provided the perfect backdrop for Back to the Future and what it was all about.
Right?
And yeah, and Marty McFly was thrust right into the middle of this.
And it's interesting too, because as you said, they were obsessed with this time period.
Yes,
And we even did a Apple snack on that.
we
Just how much it
did.
influenced the music, the dress, how they had movies related to it. Like we've actually done an Apple snack on that. So feel free to go
Yep.
back and check that out as well.
Yeah, that was a good discussion.
It was. And, so Marty McFly was a teenager that was accidentally sent back to the year 1955 and none other than a plutonium powered DeLorean time machine invented by his friend and slightly mad scientist Doc Brown.
So, real quick, I thought about Marvin the Martian when you just did that plutonium. I thought it was funny. I love it. Go ahead.
The Illudium Q-36 explosive space modulator.
It was like his signature cocktail, wasn't it?
Space modulator.
He's another one. Wow, he's quite the character.
He was. Oh, bad thing.
Right? Oh my goodness. So fun fact. Can you recall what Doc's proper first name was? His proper name, weigh in if you know, Orchard Archivers.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah, let's get our caramel plutonium trivia brains going this week. Let's have some fun.
That's right. Delays.
So I think that he actually did go by Doc throughout the movie,
Yeah,
but I love the little details we learn about certain retro topics through a bit of research.
I do too, Cooper. I mean, I'm definitely dialing up the caramel plutonium on
Oh, yes.
that.
Heavy supply.
Oh, totally.
Thick
Yeah.
coating, yes.
And plutonium, we're talking plutonium is not code, folks. It's all good here.
It's all good.
So, in the meantime, during Marty's hysterical, amazing trip back in time, he must make certain that his then teenage parents to be actually one, meet, two, fall in love so they can get back to the future, back to 1985.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. Talk about a good plot.
Yeah.
They just don't make movies like they used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crying shame. I mean, it's like this was everything. You was excited about movies back then, excited about this movie. This movie's really just plain fun and goofy.
Yeah.
And we're talking about it these many years later because it's like this was a good time and we don't have that anymore.
That's what we're talking about.
Yep, it's sad.
It is. Our whole podcast is based on things that had longevity because it was just cool and amazing. And it was back then.
Facts.
So it's so cool that we lived through that period that it's like you can remember what you were doing at some of these times. I mean, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's more than words. It's a feeling and the emotions behind it, and
Yeah,
that is
because
sorely lacking.
this stuff, you can watch this movie now. A kid
Mhm.
born yesterday, well, okay. A kid born a couple years ago, a kid born yesterday is not going to be watching this, but a kid born
Probably
a couple
not.
3 years ago, maybe in the room when this is on. They have no recollection of this. It's like, it is just so cool that nostalgia is super duper strong and it's real.
Yeah.
And we're super duper connected to it, and it is awesome.
Love it.
Yes. Back to the Future was amazing. So we have a quote. Doc Brown. We have a quote. Doc Brown.
Oh no.
If my calculations are correct, when this baby hits blank miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious crapola. So here's yet another spot for some caramel trivia. Okay, fellow retro buffs and super fans of Back to the Future, listen up. How many miles per hour did Doc say the DeLorean needed to do to successfully time travel? Yeah, Kennedy, this is your jam. She's the trivia queen.
Oh yes, totally.
The trivia is going to be epic this week's episode coming up.
Oh my God, it is. And to give all this a little context, Back to the Future actually starts out in 1985, where we see Marty McFly's family, shall we say, having ongoing issues.
Yes.
Yeah, so he had big dreams to become a rock star, which is another 80s thing. And this was hardened by his girlfriend, Jennifer Parker. But things went awry when his buddy scientist, Doc Brown, needed Marty's assistance for his new mystery invention. So that late night, Marty went to help Doc's invention, or hero car. This would be our time traveling DeLorean. Enter stage right. Marty was told to record Doc's first time travel to the future. In that moment, they were attacked by some nutty terrorists who were cheated by Doc for plutonium. Doc. After killing Doc, they turn towards Marty, and without any intention, Marty enters the DeLorean, but it was previously set by Doc. And when activated, Marty gets transferred to 1955 from 1985.
Oops.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a 30-year leap backward. Well, whatever will he do next? So, as our plot moves along and thickens, where Marty successfully ends up in 1955, it is here that he inadvertently prevents his future parents from falling in love, threatening his own existence, and is forced to reconcile them and somehow get back to the future. Yeah. I love how fun, irresistible, and original the whole concept of this film is.
I completely agree. You know, Back to the Future causes us to tap into our wild imaginations,
Yeah.
you know, because this is such a cool spin on time travel.
Yeah.
You know, it's light and airy, but still like we need to do something now. It's immediate, you know. It's just an excellent storyline.
And you're right, Coop. That is so key.
Yeah.
And it makes one really reassess, especially in current times, what good movie making was really about.
Yeah.
I feel that skill overall has been diminished in current times. I mean, that's really not some big secret, but it's really a big colossal joke. But, so much that we have taken drastic measures to venture into the retro orchard to recall some of the fondest memories contained in pop culture back then. So look what we had to do.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We ain't mad though. We ain't mad.
And I even venture to say that the retro orchard is plutonium powered, much like the DeLorean. So take us back, please, to 1985.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Tickets for two. And we poo-poo constantly on modern technology and films via CGI effects and such.
Yeah.
But for this movie to be made back in the mid-'80s, I have to say and admit that the special effects are dazzling.
Yeah.
And the comedy is suitably sly and sophisticated.
Yeah.
So that, coupled with an amazing script that is pretty ingenious, I might reiterate, it really is sort of a script that has quotable lines all throughout and also liberally pokes fun at or gives platform to 50s icons. and fashion and music heavily portrayed in the lifestyle during that era by way of frequent bouts of time traveling.
Yeah.
Coop, Back to the Future was the business.
Quote. My cats are chasing each other. I'm sorry.
That's okay. They're so bad. We'll just put his little furry behind in the DeLorean.
Sounds good to me. Quote. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. So I have to mention the acting itself. Michael J. Fox really does the role of Marty McFly a huge justice, and he is totally appealing as this persona.
Agreed. Yes.
And
Yes.
and you're like, of course I agree. You've got a fan in you.
Wait a minute. He acted? Or I was just looking at the eye candy. Come on.
Oh my goodness, she is a super fan, everybody. So, it is his role as Marty McFly that propelled him into stardom,
Oh yeah.
right? So his partner in crime, Christopher Lloyd, aka Doc Brown, is iconic and performs one of his most memorable roles in the realm of recent film. You may wonder how some of the key stars of Back to the Future enjoyed or related to their work in the film. Fun fact. It is said that Crispin Glover, aka Pops George McFly, claimed to have seen the film only once shortly after it was released. But in contrast, Christopher Lloyd, aka Doc Brown, said that whenever he stumbles across the film while channel surfing, he often sits back and watches it.
Oh, I love that.
And I have to say, I'm right there with him. Same thing.
Yeah.
If it's in the lineup, yeah, you're here for a good time. Play.
That's right. And that's how entertainment should be today.
Yeah.
But it's not. Yes. Good job, Doc, huh?
Yes.
But speaking of Doc, Christopher Lloyd is a good actor.
Yes. Yes.
That guy, I don't know. He is very entertaining.
He's got a signature style, doesn't he?
He does.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He's unapologetic about it, and I love that.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week's episode. But next time, we'll continue our Orchard Trek Retro on Back to the Future Part 2. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss this. Thanks so much for listening to this podcast. We realize you made the choice to push play, and we so appreciate your support. Speaking of pushing play, check us out on iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcast fix. You just retro trekked with the Caramel Apples, where the topic is rarely about apples. Bye.